Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome you to my table. You are at Sittin with the Sosk, and this is a podcast all about the independent film world in Oklahoma, from page to screen and everything in between. That is what I promise you that we are going to talk about on this podcast, throughout this podcast, from every angle of the filmmaking world. We are going to talk to directors. We are going to talk to writers. We are going to talk to actors. We are going to talk to people in the trenches making the films happen in this state as we speak. Can you feel it? This guy, oh yeah, yeah, this guy's feeling it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a guest with me tonight. It's I'm very excited to have this man here. The minute that I bumped into this man on set, he designed something that was so fucking disgusting that I had to deal with, that it made our first meeting very, very special, and there was appreciation that was shared amongst us. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows him as Shwa, but I'm going to introduce him as Joshua Miller, a special individual who I've gotten to work with many, many times and has had many different hats. You talk about a multi-hyphenate? Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at one right here, the definition of multi-hyphenate that you haven't even explored and has been explored already that you didn't even know about. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Oh, man, I'm very excited. You're not from, or you are from here?
I am from the northeast corner of Oklahoma.
Nice. So you are actually at Oklahoma?
I'm actually from the Cherokee Nation. I was born in a house, not even a hospital.
Really? In like what was it, like a midwife kind of situation?
It was.
In the water?
She almost killed me.
Oh. We are not responsible for any midwife discussions that happen on this show. We aren't professionals.
No, fuckers.
Wow.
I don't even remember her name. Anyway.
So that all happened. How do you? So, did you go away or did you stay here throughout?
I never had to leave because I've always been just weirdly lucky. Like at 5 years old, I broke my arm. Ended up with a caretaker who ended up taking me to like one of the first TV studios in Tulsa.
Buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going way back. Maybe a little too far back, but please go on.
A TV studio for a Western called Gospel Bill.
Really? Like in this area?
My
God. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Huff just I think he might have just jacked off a little bit behind this camera. Because do you know what he's talking about?
I shot a bunch of them.
So this guy who's working this camera, who made this podcast happen, who called me and said, "Do you want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I do."
No.
This guy was...
People had no idea what was going on here. Because like the studios were tucked away in churches and random places. There was also this guy named Carmen who was like making all these crazy like trippy music videos. Like look him up on YouTube.
Carmen?
Yeah, Carmen. He was like some ex-mafia dude that found Jesus and decided to start making music videos.
And he was here in Tulsa?
He was here in Tulsa.
How did he do? Oh, go on.
He made like these videos that were like Jesus boxing Satan and like Satan eat the dust.
Wait, Huff, what? So Jesus has gone from boxing Satan to playing chess with Satan, hasn't he?
It was crazy. It was trippy stuff. Yeah. But no, it was...
Hey, shout out to Jesus.
There was so much going on. Yeah.
I mean,
Jesus.
For real.
Yeah. But there was also a lot of television production going on because of the colleges here and the evangelists, all that stuff.
Sure.
And then, so it started out kind of religious.
Yeah.
But also there was like little pockets of video happening. So at 11 years old, I ran my first camera for a PBS show.
Oh, my Lord.
At 11? At 11, yeah.
Wait, were your parents involved in the industry at all?
No.
How did you find yourself knowing the people were the
My father was a concrete construction guy and a preacher. And I didn't want to do either one of those.
Oh, God.
So I was like, I'm going to become an actor so I can get out of construction. And then the irony really caught up later on.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Because you're also looking at somebody who built many of the sets on Killer of the Flower Moon, and also many sets at Tulsa King, Twisters. This man, since I landed here, I came down 4 years ago. Yeah, word out, man.
Yeah, if you watch Twisters, a lot of the storm damage, that I can honestly say a lot of that look was mine.
Oh man.
I swung an axe for 6 hours one day, nonstop, just to create the debris for a storm at a rodeo.
And that is the kind. So also, when I first met him, he was designing a toilet to look like it had just been covered in shit, and he was trying to figure out the right way.
That's what chocolate's for.
No, but you were trying to figure out the right way to make the something float so I could plunge, but
Yes,
something would.
yes.
You were being so fucking specific.
Yeah, because I needed it to splash at you.
Yes.
It's not gross unless it splashes
Yes.
at you.
Yes.
The solution? Put a balloon in there.
Yes.
That way the balloon bounces back.
Yep.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
But also because he's a smart. What were you on that? You were props.
I was props,
Yeah.
but as
Because
a prop
you're
master,
a creator and
Yeah.
because you're an artist and because you had a good sense that I was coming in with humming on a lot of levels as an actor,
yeah,
you knew that you could tell me the way in which the way in which I see this working is if you do this.
I showed you how to hold the plunger.
Yep.
Yeah. The
You want to know how to get shit splashed in your face? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the podcast for you.
and the only
Shwa.
reason, yes, and the only reason I know how to do that is because occasionally I've lived a bad life.
Wow, that's as specific as we got to get. That's
so-
just moving on.
All right.
But no, I want to say in regards to multi-hyphenates. So this is all in the world of props. This is all in the world of set design. This is all in the world of production design.
Yeah.
The feel of a film.
But you know what's
So-
weird? If you look at my IMDb,
Yeah.
because I don't update that thing, because I don't really
We're
give
too
a
busy working.
No, I just don't give a fuck. I'm not like into that.
Yes.
But but the thing is, everything on there is special effects. I've done tons of special effects stuff. Have you ever
because
met me on a movie where I'm
No, because the thing about Shwa is that he can figure that you could pay someone, an extra part of your budget, right, to come in and be a special effects team. Or you could trust your designer to know the way to make a quote unquote special effect work practically.
Yes, but I won't do fire anymore.
No.
I lost eyebrows last time.
See, the damage still remains. There's no last time.
No, they're nice.
They're
nice.
okay.
They look good. They look good.
But no, there's I always love the sensibility of the theatrical idea of we can do this with a candle and a fucking paperclip.
Yes.
And you understand that.
Yes.
Now, we all want to have more toys, and you give me sometimes more money means more mistakes. And sometimes I feel like it's so exciting to see someone make something out of nothing when you can.
Well, okay. So
Please.
since we're talking about this,
Yeah, man, bring it.
so the secret was special
He's going to tell me,
effects.
wait, hold on a second. You're kind of fucking, you don't know what
So
the fuck
the
you're talking
secret
about.
with special effects, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm giving it away. It's all easy. You can make stuff with nothing. But the reason the special effects guys make it so complicated is because they have to justify their pay when they charge.
Oh,
studios.
I don't want to throw shit on special effects.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, they have to make it look more complicated to charge a higher rate.
Well, no, but there's some truth to that, and I don't want to. I want to do shout outs to everybody, but we're in a situation where we're going to be dealing with special effects,
Yes.
and we even decided today that as a production team, that there's a value in doing part of this with a special effects, as in like latex makeup. Or
Oh, yeah.
something
Well,
like that.
I don't mean special effects makeup.
You know,
I just mean like if you have a haunted scene, making crazy ghost things fly across the room,
right?
fires, all that. But makeup, it's a different story. There's
Is
not
that practical? Is that some or special effects like
there's a special effects department and then there's a special effects makeup,
copy?
and sometimes they get kind of blended, but it's
Because those are very vastly like if you're making explosions in
Yeah.
a war film.
yeah.
That's,
So like Twisters was a highly special effects movie, very low special effects makeup movie.
yeah. So what's
So-
the craziest thing you saw on that set, or what?
Twisters.
How about the craziest thing you saw and the proudest thing you did?
Oh, I never really feel proud of any.
Oh, I know, but come on, you'll find something that you were like, oh man, that really worked, and you can see through your own noise to say, you know what? Yeah,
you know what's my favorite thing?
give yourself props.
I
man.
did.
Give yourself a flower.
I tossed a bag of corn on a road. Like, I did all this storm damage everywhere, but I realized that if you wanted a little debris on a road, if you tossed a bag of kernels of corn all over the road, it creates this beautiful texture.
Oh,
So there's this scene where all these cars are pulling up, and it just like, it ended up being this really gorgeous shot that they shot on a helicopter. I was super pumped about that.
oh, was it like a overhead shot, like almost a drone shot?
Mhm.
Oh,
But,
and that then gives you color differentiation too.
But I also was a big part of Chickasha. So there's like this whole like opening shot with like a destroyed town,
Yeah,
and I really got to have my hand in it. And
you've seen destroyed
I'll toot my horn
towns.
a little. I'll tell you,
Toot it.
I brought a destructive aesthetic to the film that a lot of people borrowed.
Hmm?
They called Shwawing it.
I love that's something you can
Yeah.
hit your hat on a little bit.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about big movies. They're no different than what I was doing when I was doing little.
I know.
indie
Sure.
movies. Like, it's not that it's exciting, but like it was a little bit disappointing to me to end up in Hollywood after spending 10 years in the middle of the woods making my own movies and discovering that they're borrowing my ideas.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even mean that arrogant. It's just like, I thought I was going to learn some cool shit. And then it's
There's
like,
always the notion that you want to. I always loved. Early on. It's a really nice feeling to feel like you're the smartest person in the room. But once you feel that, then you suddenly don't
wanna
want to be
anymore.
the smartest.
No, you
person
want
in the
to
room
learn
anymore.
from other people.
Yeah. It's imperative.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the person.
No,
That
I don't mean I mean I've learned a lot from all these guys, but like,
Well, look, smartest idea in the room wins.
yeah.
End
But
of story.
I just
Wherever it
thought
comes
there
from.
was like a bigger magic to the
Yeah.
Hollywood thing.
I still get, and I had Sterling on, and the feeling and joy and pride in my work that I felt from the girls on the bus was no different than coming here and shooting
Yes.
our film for 5 days with our limited crew, but dude,
That was-
everybody rose to the occasion.
That was I was hungover most of the.
No, I know you came in dressed as a freaking zombie.
Well, that's because I partied too late on Halloween night.
we were all aware.
Yeah.
There were
I mean,
kids.
Listen, I was late to work.
There were kids everywhere. I'm flying in from New York, having just left the biggest experience I've ever had in my life. I'm coming in. The beauty is Sterling's hired my daughter, so I get a chance to see my daughter and my wife. And probably now I come in and I hug Sterling, and I'm like, it's all going to be okay, because if I didn't show up, he was going to be screwed.
You know, I didn't think about the fact that there was a lot of kids on that movie.
Yeah, man, no. Let me remind you. But somehow, this guy walks in like you were coming straight out of Shaun of the Dead,
Yes.
like full on,
Yes.
like blood, caked. But because I've been a bartender in New York City and I've seen Halloweens, I've seen some dirty Halloweens. I knew that this man went to a party, man, he never came home.
Well, in all
He wasn't like, I'm going to come to the set dressed in Halloween stuff. No.
Small quick note. In all fairness,
Oh, is
this
there
party-
fairness in this?
Yes, this party had like little ghosts wrapped over mystery shots, like little bottles.
Yep.
So you had to grab the ghosts.
Oh.
And I grabbed too many ghosts.
Oh, did you?
There was a lot of mystery.
Did you
shots.
forget that there was a drink in there? So, Look. We are blaming inanimate objects, ladies and gentlemen. That's the kind of stuff you're going to take away in this podcast.
So the movie industry isn't all about drinking.
Because he showed up hung to the wind.
Speaking of props,
Please,
where's
where's this going?
buffers? Learning to run a buffer.
Learning to want to buffer.
Yeah, the Flora buffer.
All right, so But you know what? Again, I don't feel like I played it off as the guy who's coming in his.
No, you did it good. You did it good.
So there's a buffering scene. There's a floor buffer. Now I'm fully aware. I'm not the biggest individual in the world, but I know that the janitor is supposed to handle the buffer. One thing this motherfucker's supposed to do, he buffs the floor every day. If I am going to be an authentic janitor, I better look like I can buff a damn floor. One of the first things that day when I knew the buffing scene was happening, I'm like, okay, I've never buffed a fucking floor.
The truth is, I hadn't either, but I pretended I did.
And this sumbitch made me think that he had a whole career.
So much experience with it.
I think maybe the second I was like, it was the classic oh yeah, okay, and there was it was like a freaking bucking bronco.
It was a great moment.
But it was realizing how to, that's the thing. You don't have time to have a buffering class. That wouldn't be something I would think of as an actor to prepare myself for. Even though I know that there's a scene he opens up and he's buffering the floor.
Okay, I got a side story for
Please.
you.
Oh boy, buffering's leading somewhere. This is just scintillating.
Yeah, side story. So, I started out an actor in the business. I go to a junior college. I get trained by a guy who used to act in Star Trek. He wants me to be a TV actor. I ended up going to Ole Miss and I decide that I want to learn about God. So I leave there for theology and writing, and I go to a different school. The people I left behind ended up working for Hollywood as actors. Like, they ended up in Benjamin Button and all these big shows. They were so pissed at me that I left. Anyway.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah. So I do that. I get into writing. I get into construction, which I hate. Spent years doing this. Finally, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to make my own movies. I spent 10 years making my own movies. Independent features. Some of them got distributed. They went to festivals. These festivals get me into building sets for movies.
Right.
So I built this big set for a horror movie, but they also wanted me to do special effects. They also wanted me to act and do stunts. I got paid nothing for this.
Yeah.
But then I kind of developed a reputation. I meet this production designer. She becomes my girlfriend, and she makes me a prop master.
Oh, my Lord.
So then I spent the next couple of years faking that I knew how to be a prop master.
But you'd had experience in sets, and sets leads you to an understanding of building.
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
But
But this leads up to the buffer. I learned that you got to fake it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, fake it till you. Well, I hate the phrase "fake it till you make it" because I have a quote that says.
I mean, you do have Google, so you can learn things.
Yes, but it was not something that I thought to do. And again, I got to share that moment with you.
Mm-hmm.
One, as two guy, I consider myself a guy. I consider you as a guy. And were these two guys like, okay, we got to make somehow you and me, we're going to do the buffering scene.
Yeah.
And it looks, I believe, like I know how to buffer in that scene.
It looks good. You ran it the wrong way, but it looks good.
Only a true bufferer would know. And, again, do what you can with what you have where you're at.
We're talking about the least cool part.
I was going backwards, but it looked like it.
No, it did look good. The coolest part of the movie, though, was the fight scene. That was super fun.
So exciting to be part of.
Actually, to me, the coolest part was when you're shaving in the mirror. That's my favorite scene.
Thank you.
That's my favorite scene.
That's a cool.
But the fight scene was great, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but the whole reason I got into the film industry, the whole reason, is I wanted to be an action star in movies. Jean-Claude Van Damme was my inspiration. All I ever wanted to do was make B movies.
Oh no, man!
And
fucking McClane, dude, Die Hard.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to do.
Every normal person think, God damn it, this motherfucker, he just blew up a damn building and it flew down on a hose with a bad foot.
Yep.
It was just, for me, that, because I love the Rambos, and I when I was in cross country and a senior in high school, I would make sure, for no reason whatsoever, and looking back, my God, I would cut the bottom of my shirt off and tie a long piece of thing. No, but I'd make sure it was on the side so you'd see that it was.
It's really funny because
The detail.
Like-
All about the detail.
any commando that fought in Vietnam,
You don't wear it. You don't want no
Like-
flipping in the breeze.
like half of my school teachers in
yeah.
high school were ex-snipers. So then when I finally watched like
You meet
Rambo
the real
again,
deal. You meet the real
but-
deal, and the things that you thought as a kid, that's like, oh, that's the real deal, and then you meet the real deal, and they're like, yeah, no,
it's
that's
not
full of
that
shit.
exciting.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Although First Blood is one of my favorite movies. But yeah, I wanted to be an action star. I wanted to make B movies. I wanted to make and then I get pulled into big Hollywood and discover that I'm an artist.
And succeed.
And that's really, yeah. But
And then you get.
talk about a disappointment.
So how about this? You go from. We talked on the podcast. You can go. You can make something shine with a thimble and a fucking matchstick, right? So what is it then? Like going from that world to then jumping into. You said that it's disappointing because it's no different. But what is?
Oh no, I mean it's disappointing that I'm making like really good stuff when I set out to make like really cheesy stuff. I couldn't pull it off. Like I end up just making good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it what's the what was the hardest thing about jumping
To big
was
stuff?
there anything that was hard? Was there anything that was difficult? What did you not unexpected? Maybe.
The unexpected part of making big movies is that it's easier than making small movies
Because there's a budget.
because there's a budget.
Yeah.
Because you have help.
Yeah.
You have more time to do things, but a lot of it is just that there's such a good team.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like one of the
Sure.
things that you never think about is almost, for instance, Twisters.
Sure.
There's trash and debris everywhere.
Yep.
One thing you wouldn't know about that is that somebody painted every single piece of that trash.
Yeah.
Hand painted it. Like just, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I love having secrets, but
sure.
there is hand painted stuff all over this trash. Every single thing has had some kind of a scenic detail added.
Yeah. I love that you brought up that point. I am a podcast listener and enjoyer of the medium. And just today I was listening to Smartless, which I'm a big fan of. Shout out to the Smartless boys. I love it. It made me think that, oh, maybe I had a chance of doing this too, because I love their sense of humor. They were talking to Denis from Dune. And one of the moments he said was watching the hundreds of people that would be making the dunes back to, at the end of the day, at the end of the night when they were done with filming, making the dunes be okay that then the wind could have their way with them. Not to make them right for the next day, to making them right so the wind could have their way with them. That's a beauty, and that's along those lines.
But the truth of that is that probably only 20 of them are actually doing the job. The rest of them are just getting a free meal ticket.
Yes. But
There's a lot of crew that's great at pretending they're working hard, but they do a little bit.
But I think
Where's the bad service?
Exactly.
we're just getting primed. Where's the gravy?
I know. I sound like I'm shitting on crew, but I am.
And I don't. And I'm all like, well, we don't want to say that the crew's bad people. The crew is very responsible.
Yes.
No,
Everybody
it's
works
true
very
though.
hard. They work very hard.
There's a perspective, but there is sometimes when look. I will find myself on film sets and I will see at least 5 people looking at their phones. And that is one problem that is not getting fucking solved.
Okay, so do you know why studios were so great
Why?
when they first started?
Why?
Because none of those people started in film. They all came from other industries and brought their skills and their craft to the industry. They weren't trying to like LARP at making movies. They actually brought real skills to the industry.
But I
And
also think
that's like why I get frustrated with crew, because they just show up and they're like, "Can I hold the flowers?" They like don't know how to trim the flowers. They don't know how to like
Yeah, they haven't expanded their skill set.
No, they haven't.
They haven't seen the work that,
No.
or
And the reason movies are struggling right now too is because of COVID. This is something people don't know about. I don't mean to jump, but like one of the problems is that all the masters just freaking quit. As soon as COVID came, they're like, done.
Yeah.
Taking my retirement.
Sure.
So all these dipshits that didn't get any training, like jumped into these big positions. And so like, that's why you're watching Netflix and you're like, why does this movie suck? It's because
it happened too quick. The progression happened too quick. Yeah, sure. I've seen that.
Yeah.
But then on the other end of it too, there is people that I've found myself on many crews recently. I swear, since landing here,
Well,
a lot of those small individual pieces.
Yes.
I wouldn't say, but just the janitor is an incredibly satisfying experience where everybody's staying in their lane and everybody knows what to do.
I think that's what's exciting about independent film.
Yeah.
Because you actually do get to pull people the way that the studios did from real life.
Yeah.
And bring them into an interesting way. Now, I will say that the big LA guys that I've worked with that have been in it for a long time,
yes,
some of them are very amazing. Because they have been part of the heritage of some neat stuff.
Yes. You've seen, but you sense that the minute you walk in the room.
You can
the
tell.
minute somebody talks about stuff, because we've been multi-hyphenate for so long, because we've kept our radar up, because we've heard the things that go wrong.
Well, I mean, like my crew that I worked with on Twisters, the first crew.
Yeah.
They hopped over and did Superman. And so we're about to see like their work on the next thing. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like there's like, but I was getting
the new progression.
I was getting to work with some of the best in the industry. And what was cool about Twisters too is people that did part one came back.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got to work with all the old guys who had retired and came back.
Yeah. Oh, that must have been tough.
Yeah.
That's some really cool fireside storytelling.
Yes. This is good fireside.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love that. This is why I responded to these two cats inviting me in to do this is, my mom's about to turn 98. And there's my parents were, they survived like the Depression era. And you didn't complain about shit.
No.
There was no radio. You sat around and listened to somebody tell the story. You were happy you had a basin in the kitchen. Truly, like I come from that. I don't come. They adopted me, but it's that was in my understanding, and I love my first job because we moved out of New York City. I was born in Queens, was to upstate New York. I love my first job was baling hay. I'm proud my first job was
baling hay.
Baling
New York.
No, upstate New York, man.
Nice.
That was like my first. So I know. I don't know. I know the pride in filling a thing that's empty in a really fucking hot day. And then at the end, you see a barn filled with hay, and it's incredibly satisfying. And the simplicities of building that thing are in the film world. I think that's just manifested. But I love that these guys have been in this for a long fucking time.
I have a small connection to the Dust Bowl.
You do?
Yep. My family.
You smoked a bowl?
No. Yes, I smoked a bowl. Not tonight, but I've done it. No, I had family that used to build sets for Tom Mix.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you know who Tom Mix is? Huff, you know who Tom Mix is?
Black and white movie days. Yeah.
Is that a yes or no? No, Huff's like, I don't know. I think that was a yes. I don't know. He might have heard himself. Sash, you know who Tom Mix is? No, I have a faint understanding of who that is.
Tom Mix was part of the black and white early silent films. He was one of your first cowboy Western stars.
Ooh.
But see, Oklahoma has a history of Hollywood going back to the 1920s.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we had Will Rogers, we had Tom Mix, and a lot of that stuff took place in Bartlesville and Dewey.
That's right.
And that's where my family
and the Will Rogers Museum. Remind me where that is. Because that's isn't it close?
Claremore.
Yeah.
It used to be OMA, Oklahoma Military Academy.
Yes, and speaking of that, you were supposed to be there
Where was I supposed to be?
You missed a plane. That was the vampire movie you were going to be in. We shot it in there. That was going to be your scene.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Yeah.
We were very excited, very close to Janitor. We were supposed to work on a film together, and so as we explained, if you've listened, or I'm not sure how this is going to come out, but on either you've listened to Sterling's podcast or listened to Sterling's podcast, we had a situation where a plane left New York and landed on time, and I arrived on the set, and it was like chef's kiss. This one, not so much, because I basically when I was leaving, God, I had to change flights twice in the middle of a flight, and then I landed in Atlanta, and the last flight going out, not the pilot or the co-pilot, whatever that third person is that they need to fly, just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I missed my flight. I slept on the airport. I felt sick all night. I got on the first plane I could, and in the air they had to start, and I didn't. And they recast me in the air. And it was like
they recast you with me.
Yeah.
And then they recast me with someone else.
Yes. It's very interesting. But shout out to everybody behind the process. It was just sometimes the powers that be can shit all over your plans. We will talk about many of those situations along the way, because the failures and the successes are just as valuable and important along the way.
Apologies for the loose and easy shop talk on this.
But it's like it's parts. Boy, I for someone who considers myself an actor who comes on time and comes prepared, I was sick to my stomach all night because I knew how it was going to look, and I knew that there's probably one person on that production, this guy. And the thing was, I chased that production down. I found out there was a vampire film. No.
You didn't miss anything. I ended up going to Spain.
But it was, I found out about a vampire film, and I am a huge fan of shout out to Rebellion Films. A huge Lost Boys fan. And I found out that there was a vampire film going on here, and I said, hey,
you like Lost Boys?
Oh,
I love Lost Boys.
Oh my God, dude.
Let's just make one. Let's make another one.
You and me as one of those two. Like I got to play Kiefer.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Dude, I remember I was doing an ABC News show. I was doing the voiceover for it, and Kiefer, in the middle of doing the 24 stuff, was coming into a building at the same time I was, and all I could do, because I'd had so many things. We'd been through 24 with him and whatnot, but because of that vampire film, that's all we talked about in the elevator ride up. And he was kind of tickled about it, that he didn't have to talk about 20 fucking 4 for the moment. But I was like a little fan. There's a couple moments, but man, I wanted him to jump to the top of the air. I was like, you can do that, right? And suddenly you just come down and scare the shit out of me. Oh, yeah, great film. Yeah, now we're talking about old vampire films. Fright Nights? Do you like Fright Night? Or was Fright Night a little bit?
Fright Night's good, but there's one that was based in Oklahoma, and I can't remember what it's called.
Near Dark.
Near Dark.
Yeah, that's
the one.
I want to say, hey guys, find on the computers. I don't know if it exists. Karen Kassan, who made Near Dark? Dope vampire film.
But see, that's another thing I like that bothers me about us so far. I think we should make some really good horror films here. Like, we have the potential to do it. Like, Oklahoma's a great location for it. I mean, almost anywhere you can go, it's beautiful.
Hey, Oklahoma. This guy worked on Twisters. I worked with HBO. You should make a horror film.
Let's make another Near Dark.
Dude. I mean, not a ream. I hate sometimes the imaginings, but yeah, man. Dirty, gritty, where everybody has like light on this side of their face and darkness on this side, like Huff has done with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how long we've talked. We could keep talking.
We probably talk all night.
But I just want to thank you for coming on the show. Free flowing with lots of wonderful tales to tell. I'll have you back on. I can't wait to see what happens. We're about to work on a film where he's going to help turn me into the Easter Bunny.
Yes.
Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Me with some friggin' bunny ears and so.
It's gonna be great.
Oh my Lord. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Huff. Thank you, Sasha. And keep coming back for more. We got lots of tales to tell, y'all. Keep coming to the table. I'm bringing lots of experience. Every guest that I will have at this table is bringing lots of experience to this to talk about.
Yeah, keep listening. Keep listening. You guys might learn something. Not from me, but somebody.
I hope, my goal is that because I love when I leave a podcast with a nod in the, oh yeah, I feel that way too. Or in the, yes, that one, I'm going to take that. So I hope that there's a nugget somewhere in a nugget. So a nugget is something you could take in your pocket.
He just wants you to put your...
No, yeah. Come back, the Sosk. Come join our table next time. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you all.